Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have the 2020 Pay-Per-View DVD Collection. We got 13 pay-per-views to run through here today. Fortunately, we only got one Blu-ray here in North America, of course being WrestleMania. So yeah, these are always a fun video to go back and look at all the pay-per-views together now. So a very colorful set overall. Really like seeing them all lined up. So let's kick this off with the 2020 Royal Rumble. So probably my pick and many picks for the pay-per-view of the year. This was a fantastic Rumble, and surprise of the night was Edge returning after, 9 years after retirement. Two very good Rumble matches, but not really a fan of the spoiler spines they've been doing with the posting winners on the spines. So McIntyre and Charlotte both won here. Got the man Topps trading card. And pretty weak disc art for this year. Ever since Warner Brothers took over, we've been getting awful disc art. Yeah, we had a very good match. Daniel Bryan and The Fiend. Bayley retaining the title. And then Brock Lesnar, the WWE Champion, actually entering the Rumble. You also had Becky Lynch and Asuka in a rematch from the year prior. Really fun show. This was a show I wasn't know what to expect going in. Lesnar would enter number 1. And then he eliminated about half the participants. Very fun, actually, to go back and watch this. Next up, the Elimination Chamber 2020. Again, fairly decent show. We had a tag team chamber match. This was actually a really fun match. They've only done one of these before, and, very enjoyable. Got Kevin Owens down there eating popcorn. We had Sami Zayn as the IC champion. Aleister Black and AJ Styles having a feud. I believe Undertaker showed up here at some point. And Daniel Bryan was having, a career resurgence. There's no match listings on these DVDs. Really sucks. So yeah, red and blue disc art, not the fan of that. And a Sasha Banks card. Next up, Super Showdown 2020. Not one of my favorite moments of the year. The Fiend definitely needed the title. He didn't need the title, but he didn't need to drop it to Goldberg. I definitely wasn't a fan of this. I know a lot of people hated this. Then we had Brock Lesnar and Ricochet. Undertaker winning the coveted Tueki trophy. Yeah. Then I believe we had a cage match with Reigns and Corbin. So, decent artwork. And then Finn Balor gold card there. Yeah, Goldberg had a good run in 2016 and 17. I had no need to see him in another title match. Next up, we got WrestleMania 36. Too big for just one night. Of course, this was the first pay-per-view post pandemic and whatnot. So this was at the Performance Center mainly. Crazy enough as it is now, this was a pretty decent show. Of course, I got the special edition from the UK here, alternate artwork and whatnot. So we'll run down the Blu-ray quick. Of course, we had a lot of fun matches on here. Lesnar and McIntyre. We had the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse, and then Strowman versus Goldberg after Reigns pulled out. It was a weird show, to say the least. So we actually got disc art with the Blu-ray. Kofi Kingston. So, quick rundown of the matches. Corbin and Elias, Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan, Rollins versus Owens. We have Becky versus Shayna Baszler. Triple threat singles match for the tag team championships because of various injuries and whatnot. Goldberg and Strowman, the Boneyard match. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. Ziggler versus Otis. Edge and Orton. Fatal 5-Way for the women's title. And then our championship match, Cesaro versus Gulak is on here. Also the Firefly Funhouse match. All kinds of stuff. So we'll give you a quick look at the Digipack and whatnot. Really cool spine. With the Fiend and Cena. There's a shot of the back. Your new WWE champion. Interior artwork is always nice on these. Various shots here. Yeah, so it started around the middle of March where they were doing shows at the Performance Center. Got a shot of Edge and Orton, the women's match. And this would be the first year, or the first time since 2004, there would be no Hall of Fame. And Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, they really had a good match. Next up was Money in the Bank, split between WWE headquarters and the Performance Center once again. They would do the Performance Center for a few months here. I was actually a really big fan of this match at Money in the Bank. Maybe not the best pay-per-view of all time, but I actually really like these matches, the cinematic matches. Really fun match. Again, spoiler spines with Asuka and Otis. So Asuka pretty much did not even have to cash in. She just pretty much was awarded the title after, Becky Lynch was pregnant and whatnot. So, yeah, another year Money in the Bank winners go to waste. It's sad to say. A lot of people said she won Money in the Bank, which was the title. I don't see it that way. She won the briefcase. She didn't even have to cash in. So, kind of a waste. Green disc art. We got a Bayley card. Really cool to see. Then we had Strowman and Wyatt in a series of matches. Looks like Bayley and Tamina. Rollins and McIntyre had a good match. This was a really cool set. They were really getting innovative, very creative around this time since no fans would be in attendance. They had to really come up with things on the fly. What can we do here? Like the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse, Money in the Bank. Next up would be Backlash with the greatest wrestling match ever. Orton and Edge, their WrestleMania rematch, which I believe went about 45 minutes or so. Absolutely incredible. And a hell of a match to boot. This is where pay-per-views really started going downhill for me. it really sucks not to have fans in these shows, because wrestling it just thrives off of live reactions and whatnot. Decent disc art, no tops trading card. We would see Strowman versus The Miz. A lot of the Street Profits around this time. Asuka. For me, Asuka was the MVP of the whole year. Next up here, the Extreme Rules Horror Show. So they found something good at WrestleMania. It just seemed like they were kind of really trying to stretch this out and kind of put together some creative matches, but at some points it just wasn't clicking here. The swamp fight they had, not the best look. Love the cover, love the artwork. This might have been the worst show of 2020. Asuka there, Strowman as champion, Wyatt. Really cool color combos. Very green disc art. But Drew McIntyre was holding his own here. You got Bayley and Sasha were tag team champions. Cesaro and Nakamura going on a run. We had the eye for an eye match. Decent match overall. Just a weird stipulation. SummerSlam 2020 was actually a pretty good show. We had the Fiend Bray Wyatt appear. Universal title match versus Strowman once again. This time they brought out the Fiend. See, this is how they should be building the Fiend, around these big 4 pay-per-views at least for now. He doesn't need to be on every show. And a lot of these are one-disc sets, shorter shows during the pandemic and whatnot. And this would be the first pay-per-view inside the Thunderdome. And Roman Reigns would make his return after many months away. Asuka would challenge Bayley and Sasha for each women's title. She only walked away with the Raw women's title on this night. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton for the WWE title. Very good match. And yeah, I believe the Fiend won the title here. Could be wrong though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Fiend won the title, and then Roman interfered afterwards. But very good show. Also, Dominic Mysterio making his WWE debut against Seth Rollins. If you haven't seen that match, go out of your way. Give it a watch, guys. It's one hell of a match. A week later, we would have Payback. Another kind of pay-per-view. This is where Roman Reigns would win the Universal title, which he still holds. And Roman Reigns, kind of the savior of this, COVID era of WWE. He's aligned with Paul Heyman now. Just been doing some fantastic promo work. Very good matches in the ring. Overall, it's been Roman Reigns and Asuka. Rollins has been in there. We've seen Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. Apollo Crews versus Lashley. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Baszler. Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus Rollins and Murphy. This was a pretty packed show. Not much. This is a UK DVD, so still got it sealed. Got to review it at some point, but decent little pay-per-view. Next up would be Clash of Champions Gold Rush. Again, very good artwork. I don't think this would be the best pay-per-view. They're usually WWE goes up and down, from SummerSlam to Survivor Series, and It's a ongoing cycle up and down. So this is usually a downtime in their creative plans. Not the best artwork at all. I'm not a fan of how they do their artwork. But we would see the Street Profits winning the tag titles, Bayley and Asuka in some very good matches, Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy there, very good match, and Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, stealing the show. I thought these were some fantastic matches. And then Randy Orton and McIntyre in an ambulance match. Somewhere around this time, Orton would win the title. It might be here. And then Drew would win it right back. It was only a couple of weeks. I don't see no spoilers on here, but it might have been here. It might have been at the next show. But, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso had some fantastic matches. Up next would be Hell in a Cell from the Thunderdome once again. All these shows would be in the same venue, Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. I actually really like this artwork here. And 3 very good cell matches, I believe they did. Hell in a Cell, not one of the better pay-per-views, even though it's a stipulation pay-per-view. But I would put these cell matches up against, any of the ones they've done in the past few years. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, first time they've done a I Quit Hell in a Cell match. And Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, he's already champion again by this point in time. So he must have won it on Raw or something like that. Then we had Otis and The Miz for the Money in the Bank contract. And this is around the time where Retribution starts appearing quite frequently. Decent disc art with the Fiend card. Yeah, pretty fun show. Last 2 here. First, we got Survivor Series featuring Undertaker's Final Farewell. And this would be the best of the best. Oh, it might have been around this point in time where McIntyre would drop the title. It might have been at Hell in a Cell, if I remember correctly now. Because it was originally going to be Reigns and Orton. And they flopped the title back to McIntyre. Kind of like they done the past, 3-4 years now? Looking back to Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles winning the title in 2017. All those Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles matches they did. Lesnar and Bryan. Some really good pay-per-views Survivor Series has been in the past few years. The Raw versus SmackDown. No NXT. But the thing I didn't like around this time is they just kind of did like a superstar shakeup. And the New Day and the Street Profits just kind of traded belts. And that was it. Strowman card with this one. And then purple and black for, I guess, The Undertaker. So yeah, you had Sasha versus Asuka, Reigns and McIntyre. Lashley versus Sami Zayn. Pretty good show, from top to bottom. Undertaker pretty much just cut a promo. For me, I do believe we'll see another Taker match at some point in time. They're probably going to wait till there's, fans back in attendance. And finally, WWE's TLC 2020. Decent event here. TLC is usually a better show. It seems like they've kind of bookend the years fairly well lately. Looking back the past couple of years, TLC is usually one of the better pay-per-views. And, we would see another Firefly Inferno match, or first ever, whatever. Bray Wyatt, The Fiend versus Randy Orton. TLC match with Reigns and Kevin Owens. Another TLC match with, I believe, McIntyre and Styles. Sasha Banks and Carmella. Pretty good show overall. And yeah, we were getting a lot of injuries around this time as well. So yeah, the Miz did not cash in at this time. So kind of a little spoiler there, but we would see the return of Charlotte Flair here. And she would win the tag team titles with Asuka. So there we have the 2020 Pay-Per-View DVD Collection. Let me know your thoughts, guys. What were some of your favorite pay-per-view matches of 2020? Might be putting a little video together of my favorites. So comment down below some of your favorite pay-per-views from 2020, some of your favorite matches, if you have all these in your collection. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.